How about another second-year quarterback?
For the record, I'm pro SGA.
Okay.
Chet Holmgren drives me crazy, as you know.
Yeah, you're anti-Chet.
I am very anti-Chet Holmgren.
A lot of Chet.
As we look at the sophomore quarterbacks, this is via Fantasy Life's consensus ADP, which we'll have more on in just a second. But Drake Maye, right now, Matthew, being drafted as the 18th quarterback off the board. What is the ceiling in a Patriots offense that should look much different than last year?
I think he's got a chance to be borderline, and I'm using that term very loosely, but borderline top 10, top 12, QB1. Bleh. I was going to say top 12.
Top 10, top 12, QB1.
Yeah. NBA Finals MVP, Drake Maye.
Yes. No, whatever.
What are you talking about?
English is my second language, for the love of God. Leave me alone. Borderline top 12-ish is what I would say for Drake Maye. You asked what his upside is. Like, you think about last year, in 60% of his completed games, he finished as a top 15 quarterback, and that was last year with no weapons around him and no designed runs. It drove me crazy how they called the offense for Drake Maye. They never took advantage of his speed, his mobility. They didn't do any designed runs for him last year. And now you add Steph Diggs, you add Travion Henderson, you add Kyle Williams. I had a long conversation at the Hall of Fame game with Chris Sims about Kyle Williams.
He loves him.
Oh, he loves him. Simsy loves him, and he's just like, and I got to give credit to my guy Simsy, because he was like, I don't want to say he put Kyle Williams on the map, but he wasn't being talked about in an elite prospect way until Sims was like, this guy's one of my top wide receivers coming out, and everyone was like, what, Kyle Williams? Wait, what? And like all of a sudden they started scrambling to go through the tape.
Yeah, and then he went in the top 75.
Yeah.
Sims was really the first guy to have him as a top 5 wide receiver in that class, and I know a lot of teams probably aligned with that. At least a handful of teams.
For sure. He was showing me some of the text message he was getting from people around the league, on partially like, dude, shut up. We want him to be our secret.
Yeah,
like,
keep him on the radar.
Yeah,
Didn't know we were calling Cris Simsy from now on, but I've updated that internally. Okay, Simsy it is. I think the other good thing for Drake Maye is that Stephon Diggs looks like he's just going to be good to go week 1. And from everything that we can ascertain from training camp videos, looks kind of vaguely like Stephon Diggs. And then all of a sudden, that his weapons don't seem nearly as bad as it looked like it might have been, and certainly was last season. So we'll see what the offense looks like. But Drake Maye, he is a player, Connor, whose playing style lends itself well to fantasy.
Yeah, he runs. Yeah. He runs and he can throw the ball down the field, which if you could do both those things, you could be a top player in fantasy. I want to see this offensive line first, because he got battered around last year, and they've made upgrades, but they're young upgrades. So that'll be my biggest question that decides his ceiling.
Okay, but we're talking about the additions of Diggs and Henderson and Williams as well. But like, I also think, by the way, a big addition. He's got Josh McDaniels calling him the plays, Connor. Talk about a McDaniels offense and how Maye fits into that.
And just the fact that they'll have a clear identity, right? Being able to actually run the ball and open up the pass game and understand what we want to do week. It looked like so many times last year he dropped back and it was kind of a panic mode and, okay, now I got to take off and run or throw the ball down. They'll have more design touches to their playmakers. They'll know how to scheme Kyle Williams open vertically down the field. And obviously Diggs is a guy that could work at all 3 levels. So I think the pass game to the running backs as well is something that'll really help Drake Maye this year that I didn't see a lot of last year. It's just kind of keeping him within himself rather than having him be like a chicken with its head cut off, and that led to injury last year as well.
Sure did. And by the way, and I think you're going to see, like every year we forget about him, and every year Hunter Henry starts showing up. Like I do think given
7 touchdowns.
100%. Hunter Henry's going to be 7 to 9 touchdowns this year and going to be a staple of our waiver wire show on Tuesdays going for. Like, you just know it is.
Backup producer Pete, who handles that show, he's like got Hunter Henry just living rent-free in his brain. Rent-free. Every rundown.
In his brain. Also, by the way, per win totals of last year, Patriots have the second easiest schedule this year. So, I mean, a lot is lined up for Drake Maye to have a really nice fantasy season. I'm at QB 16, and I certainly think he could do better than that. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.